Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're making Mother Goose. So let's go through the colors that I chose. This camera doesn't exactly pick up on the correct colors. This is purple, this is pink. She does have wings under there. This is worsted, so the one I'm going to make today probably isn't going to be as big because I don't think I'm going to use worsted. I think I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. But then I just did these little shoelace ties at the front. I thought was cute. And this is just the pop stitch or the bobble stitch, whatever you call it. It's the same stitch. Little feet in a blue bonnet. So let's jump right into this. So for starters, you're going to need some white. That's the biggest part of this. You're only going to need one skein. This is just called white. It is 100% acrylic. It is 7 ounces, which is 198 grams, 360 yards. And it's 4-weight, just a regular 4-weight. It calls for a 5mm, but today's project, everything's going to be made with a 4.5. So you only need one ball of this. The bonnet is going to be made with loops and threads impeccable. This little ball, which obviously you're not even going to need, maybe you're going to use a third of it. It's 4.5 ounces, which is 127.5 grams, and 285 yards. And it calls for a 5mm, and it's just a regular 4-weight. The color is Blue Haze. For her shawl, I'm using again loops and threads impeccable. It is again 4.5 ounces. 127.5 grams, 285 yards. You will only need a ball. You won't need any more than this, and you probably will only use a quarter of this ball. It also calls for a 5mm hook, and the color is coral. The little pop of color that I put on the shawl, the little pop stitches or bobble stitches, is also loops and threads impeccable. It's the same size, 4.5 ounces, and I mean, you're not even going to use a third, so you just need scrap yarn. I just happen to have a great big cake that I rolled. This comes in a ball in a skein, and it again calls for a 5mm, and this color is eggplant. So this is just this purpley color I'm going to put on the pink on the shawl. I think it'll look really, really super duper cute. So this is the color that I used for the feet and for the beak, and it is impeccable by Loops and Threads. It's called Pumpkin, and it also takes a 5mm. So all of my yarns take a 5mm hook. So let's jump right into this. We're going to start by making the goose body. This video will be split into chapters to make it easier for you. And in looking for the next chapter, all you have to do is go down in the description box below and click on the number that I've listed there, and it will take you right to it. So we're going to jump right into the goose body with a magic ring of 6 single crochets. So you don't have to use the same yarn as I do, but whatever hook size your yarn calls for, because it's being built in amigurumi, we need to go down in hook size. This is being built in amigurumi, so there's no slip stitching, no chaining. You will, however, need a stitch marker. You will notice some changes to my videos. I'm going to be putting in the row counts now. It's just been a request from some viewers, so I thought I would accommodate. Your next round, round 1, is going to be 2 single crochets in each stitch. So after your first stitch, that's where the marker gets put in, and then stitch number 2 can follow. 2 single crochets in each stitch all the way around will give you 12 stitches. Your next round is going to be 1 single crochet and an increase. That's 1 single crochet with your marker. So the next stitch gets the increase of 2 single crochets in the same space. And repeat for a total of 18 stitches. For your next round, I just want you to put 1 single crochet in each of these 18 stitches. Your next round is going to be 2 single crochets and an increase, and this will bring you up to 24 stitches. That's number 1. That's number 2. And then your next stitch gets the increase of 2 single crochets in the same space. And repeat. Your next round is going to be 1 single crochet in each of these 24 stitches. Your next round is going to be 3 single crochets and an increase, and this will bring it up to 30 stitches. That's number 1. That's 3 single crochets and then your increase of 2 single crochets in the same space, and repeat. So your next round is going to be 1 single crochet in each of those 30 stitches. So your next round is going to be 4 single crochets and an increase, and this will bring it up to 36 stitches. That's number 1. That's 4 single crochets and then your increase of 2 single crochets in the same space, and repeat. And your next round is going to be 1 single crochet in each of those 36 stitches. Your next round is going to be 5 single crochets and an increase, and this will bring it up to 42 stitches. That's number 1. That's 5 single crochets, and then your next stitch will get the increase of 2 single crochets in the same space, and repeat. Your next round is going to be 1 single crochet in each of these 42 stitches. So your next 2 increase rounds are not going to be followed up by 1 single crochet in each stitch. So your next round is going to be 6 single crochets and an increase. So your next round is going to be 7 single crochets and an increase, and this will bring you up to 54 stitches, and that's as high as we're going. So this is what you should have at this point. So this is as far as we're going with our increases. So for the next 10 rows, I just want you to put 1 single crochet in each stitch, and then when we come back, we're going to start to decrease. Easy peasy. So this is my 10 rows, so I'm going to start decreasing now. We're going to start decreasing now. So we're going to do a 7 single crochet decrease. That's number 1. That's 7 single crochets, and then I'm going to do my invisible decreases, which are done in the front loops only. So I'm going to go into my first front loop, I'm going to pop around and go into my next front loop, then I'm going to yarn over and pull through both loops, and then finish the stitch. You can do whatever decrease you're comfortable with. 7 single crochets decrease will bring you down to 48 stitches. Your next round is going to be 6 single crochets and a decrease, and this will bring you down to 42 stitches. That's number 1. That's 6 single crochets, and then your decrease. And repeat. Your next round is just going to be 1 single crochet in each stitch. And then we could probably stuff this anytime. Your next decrease row is going to be 5 single crochet decrease, and this will bring you down to 36 stitches, and then I want you to follow it up with 1 single crochet in each of the 36 stitches. That's 5 single crochets and then your decrease. So follow the screen prompt so you don't miss that one row. And I will meet you back here. So your next round is going to be 4 single crochet. Next two rounds are going to be 4 single crochets and a decrease, bringing you down to 30 stitches, and then again 1 single crochet in each of the 30 stitches. So this is what you should have. Your next couple of rows is going to be 3 single crochets and a decrease. This will bring you down to 24 stitches, and then you can follow that up with 1 single crochet in each. Your last 2 rounds are going to be 2 single crochets and a decrease, and then 1 single crochet in each stitch. So you can fasten off. So all you're going to need is a weaving tail. We sew the head on with the piece from the head. So you just need to finish stuffing this. So it doesn't really matter which end you use for the tail, but decide which one. I'm going to use this end for the tail, but it's completely up to you which end you want to use. And then you just have to stuff it appropriately. Either way, the head is not being sewn to either end. It's being sewn on top, so it doesn't really matter. I built it, I designed it to look like a football so that you can just decide which end you want to use. So that's what I did. So we're going to cinch this closed, so you're going to go into the front loop and out the front loop of the next stitch, all the way around. Well, I don't like how that closed, so I'm going to put some more stuffing in here. Because that was going to close a little wrinkly for me. So I just want to make sure it's completely filled. And that doesn't mean out, that just means underneath this rim. Because I don't want to see my stuffing through this, even though everything's kind of white. I don't want to see stuffing through this. That's a bit better. So once I pull, I'm going to pop across, make my knot both ways. And now it's all the way closed. I can weave. So both ends should be pointy. I like this end for the tail though, but you can kind of just move your stuffing around a little bit. Get it into the nice football shape that it's supposed to be. And that's your body. So let's start with feet. You're going to need your pumpkin color or an orange color or a brown color, whatever color you want. We're going to start with a magic ring of 6 single crochets. Your next round is going to be 2 single crochets in each stitch. Your next round is just going to be 1 single crochet in each of these 12 stitches. Your next round is going to be 1 single crochets and an increase. Your next round is going to be 1 single crochet in each of these 18 stitches. So your next round is going to be 2 single crochets and an increase, and this will bring you up to 24 stitches. So for the next 4 rows, I just want you to put 1 single crochet in each of these 24 stitches, and I will see you on the other side. So I'm done my 4 rows. I'm going to put a little tiny wee bit of stuffing in this, and then we're going to single crochet these 2 ends together so you can actually completely move your stitch marker, because we're going to be done after this row. So just make sure that your thing here is on the side so we can start crocheting like a whip stitch, right? So I'm going to put a tiny, and I mean a tiny bit of stuffing in here. This part gets sewn to the bird, so I don't want a whole lot, but I do want enough that it's going to make a little bit of an impact, like a 3D impact instead of a 1D impact. So from here we're going to go back into that same stitch, and we're going to pop across and pick up the other stitch on the other side. We're going to do an SC2 tog. So pull up a loop, go into your next stitch and pop across to your next stitch on the other side and pull up a loop, and then you're going to yarn over and pull through all of them. So an SC2 tog right on the end. Your next stitches, so when I say your next stitch, that's all of these go together. So they all go together. So your next stitches are going to get 3 double crochets in each. So yarn over, go through your first one and then the second one on the other side, and put 3 double crochets into those spaces. Your next 2 stitches together, you're going to do a single crochet. The next 2 on either side, you're going to do a single crochet. And then you're going to do that 3 double crochets in the same space again. And then you're going to do 2 single crochets. So 1 in this one in the next couple, and then the 3 double crochets again. So just make sure you're going right across to the stitch, right directly across. You should come out even on the other end if you're doing it right across. It's the only way I could think to make feet. So these last 2, you're just gonna SC2 tog like you did on the other end. So go through the first one, pull up a loop, go through the last 2 bits, pull up a loop, yarn over, and pull through all 3. So here you've got a little bit that doesn't really mean anything on the end, and it looks stupid, right? You can't have that. So that's where we're going to go into, and we're going to fasten off, and it'll just kind of make it look like we've pulled it over. So it just makes it look better. So that's your little foot. I'm just going to push my stuffing up a bit here, because I want my stuffing to be more up at the front, because I'm going to use this part to sew on. So you're going to need a sewing tail, and not much of one, because we just sew that one end on. So that is what I've decided to do for the feet. So You can go ahead, I'll put the pattern on the screen, you can make your second foot, and I will see you right back here. So I got both my feet done, so we can move on to the beak in the same color. So onto the bill. I keep calling it a beak, but it's actually a bill. Geese and ducks have bills, and I keep saying a beak, but I mean a bill. Anyway, we're going to do a magic ring of 4 single crochets. You're going to do 2 single crochets in each stitch all the way around, which will give you 8 stitches. Now, I don't pull my magic ring tight when I go this small, so if that's helpful, we can always pull it after. So 2 single crochets in each stitch for 8 stitches. That's 8 stitches. So now I can pull my ring closed all the way. And then I'm just gonna flip this around a little bit. It doesn't really flip around yet. But for the next 3 rows, we're gonna put 1 single crochet in each of these 8 stitches. So it should flip around at that point. So this is what you should have. Your next round is going to be 1 single crochets and an increase. This will bring it up to 12 stitches. That's 1 single crochet with your marker. So we jump right into our increase, which is 2 single crochets in the same space. And repeat. Your next round is going to be 2 single crochets and an increase. So bring it up to 16 stitches. That's number 1. That's number 2, and then your increase of 2 single crochets in the same space. And repeat. Your next round is going to start with 8 single crochets. It's number 1 with the marker. So that's my 8 single crochets, and now we're going to do 3 single crochet increase 2 times. That's 3 single crochets, and so my next stitch gets increase. That's the first time. Let's do it a second time. This should give you 18 stitches, and now I just want you to put 1 single crochet in each of those 18 stitches. You can fasten off with a sewing tail. And then go into the next stitch and pull this through. So the high part up here will be toward his face. We'll sew that on. I'm going to put a little bit of stuffing in this. Not much though. We'll sew it to the head after we build it, so that'll be the next thing, is our head. So for the head, we're going to start with a magic ring of 6 single crochets. Your next round is going to be 2 single crochets in each stitch all the way around. Your next round is going to be 1 single crochets and an increase. Your next round is going to be 2 single crochets and an increase, and this will bring it up to 24 stitches. Your next round is going to be 3 single crochets and an increase. This will bring it up to 30 stitches. So you should have 30 stitches. For the next 4 rows, I just want you to put 1 single crochet in each of these 30 stitches, and I will see you on the other side. So that's my 4 rows. That's what it should look like. So we're gonna have to decrease one side but not the other side to get that look, goose head look. So we're going to start with 15 single crochets, and then we're going to decrease. That's my 15 single crochets. So now I'm going to do 3 single crochet decrease back to my marker, which will be 3 times. That's my 3 single crochets and then my decrease. All the way back to the marker. You should have 27 stitches. The next round is going to be the same thing. We're going to start with 15 single crochets. That's 15 single crochets. And now you're going to do 2 single crochet decrease back to the marker. That's 2 single crochets and then your decrease. So you're going to do this 3 times as well, same as the last time, but just keep doing it until you hit your marker. So this gives you 24 stitches. So we can put our eyes in now. So your next round is going to start with 15 single crochets. That's my 15 single crochets. And then I'm going to do a 1 single crochet decrease 3 times. That's 1 single crochet and then my decrease 2 more times. This will bring me down to 21 stitches. And it should really accentuate what I'm trying to do with the head here. Your next round is going to start with 16 single crochets. So that's 16 single crochets, and now I'm going to SC3 tog. So I'm just going to single crochet 3 together. So I'm going to go into the first stitch and pull up a loop. Second stitch, pull up a loop. Into the third stitch, pull up a loop. So you should have 4 loops on. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 4 of those. And then 2 single crochets to finish the round. So this should give you a better idea of what kind of head we're looking at here. So if we count down 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 with 10 stitches in between. Put your bags on. And then we can put some stuffing in this. So this part sticks out and this part doesn't. So this is the shape it should be, like a little dinosaur head. So you should have 19 stitches. For the next 14 rows, I want you to put 1 single crochet in each of these 19 stitches. Stuff as you go, because this is the neck. And I will meet you back. We're gonna increase when we get down to the lower part of the neck. So this is what you should have. Looks like a dinosaur. So the last 2 rows are going to be increase rows. So we're not going to get all the way around. We're going to have an extra stitch at the end, just because we have 19's an uneven number. So you're going to do 5 single crochets and an increase. You're going to get 3 times around and have 1 extra stitch for a total of 22 stitches. That's number 1. That's 5 single crochets, and then your next stitch gets to increase, which is 2 single crochets in the same space. The reason I decided to increase these last 2 rows was aesthetics, just so it looks good. So your next increase round is going to be 6 single crochets and an increase, and this will be exactly the same. 3 times around, 1 extra stitch left for a total of 25. So that's what you should have, is just this little flare out at the end. You can fasten off. You'll need a sewing tail to sew the head to the body. And you can finish stuffing this if you want. You can do it after you start sewing too, so it makes no difference. Well, it does make a difference, whatever is easier for you. So where I fastened off, I'm using just for the front chest part. So I'm going to put him right on top, like that. That's where I fastened off. So that's how I'm going to sew him on. And then when you're done that, he should look like a little Loch Ness until we start reattaching everything. So I'm going to use a mattress stitch You can use whatever stitch you want. Just make sure his eyes are facing proper. So that is my neck sewn on. I go around 2 times for my mattress stitch. I will go up higher and I will come out further than I was doing before. You don't have to do this. This is optional. I just prefer the hold a lot better. So the reason I left this out the front is for the shawl. Just so it sits the way I want it to sit. So now that the head is sewn on, it falls forward, so we got to put the feet on. So we fastened off at the top of the feet, so we kind of just got to weave down to the back of the feet. I'm not going to pull too tight. And then you just got to decide where his feet are going. And then sew them on. I know it's hard to see me. See what I'm doing. I only sewed using the back. Like I didn't go up to this area. So I'm going to pop out the same hole as my other foot. I'm going to tie these together in a tight double knot. So that's my feet. Now he sits up pretty good. So we gotta sew the beak on. So this high part goes to the top, like that. This gets pushed down. We're going to be doing something with that after. Actually, we're going to do some indents. Let's do some indents. So, that's my goose beak. but they have indents right up here. So let's use whatever we have left here to go up into these spots. So right at the very top of the beak, right there. So from here we're going to go just down into the next stitch and then over to the next spot, down into the stitch below, and then wherever you pop out, and then just pinch here and pull at the same time, and that'll stay pinched in like that. I don't think I quite got mine in the middle of my head, but yeah, my beak's off, or my bill is off a bit, but so that's what it should look like. And then because you've pinched here, that kind of makes it look fabulous. I'm just gonna weave. You can make a knot if you want. I'm just gonna weave. So I've changed my mat. We're going to get started on the bonnet. We have the bonnet and the shawl. So I'm going to use this blue color that I talked about at the beginning of the video, which is this Impeccable Loops and Threads, and it's called Blue Haze. I think it's super duper pretty. So we're going to start with a magic ring of 6 single crochets, and I'm still using my 4.5 millimeter hook. I'm going to change my stitch marker color since the one I was using is blue. So this is partially being built in amigurumi, so the first few rows is just going to be no slip stitching or chaining. We're going to go right into our next stitch, and we're going to do 2 single crochets in each stitch all the way around. Number 1 stitch, get your marker, and then 2 single crochets in each stitch all the way around will give you 12 stitches. Your next round is going to be 1 single crochets and an increase, and this will bring you up to 18 stitches. Your next round is going to be 2 single crochets and an increase, and this will bring you up to 24 stitches. Alright, so the next round, round 4, we're going to be doing in the back loops only. So these guys right here. 1 single crochet in each stitch in the back loops only. So you should have all of this all the way around, and those are your front loops that we've left untouched. So at this point, I want you to chain one and turn your work. We're going to do 22 single crochets. So that is my 22 single crochets. You should have 2 extra stitches left because our previous row was 24 stitches. You're going to chain one and turn your work again. So at this point we want to increase for the bonnet. So I want you to do 2 single crochet increase. You're going to get around 7 times. You're going to have 1 extra stitch. So 2 single crochet increase, so you can't do it anymore. That's number 1. That's number 2. And then your increase is 2 single crochets in the same space. So I'm all the way around, I can't go anymore. I'm on 28th stitch. My 29th stitch is this 1 extra stitch I told you that you would have. Chain 1, turn your work. So we're going to do it again, but we're going to do 3 single crochet increase. It'll be the exact same thing. You'll have that extra stitch, and this will give you 36 stitches. That's 3 single crochets, and then your next stitch gets an increase of 2 single crochets in the same space. So I'm back around. I'm at 35 stitches. I have 1 extra stitch like I told you would for 36. Chain 1, turn your work. So this time around we're going into the front loops. We're going to make a little bit of frilly stuff. So this part of the bonnet, this is where we are right now. We're going to make these little frillies. So we're going to do them in the front loops. So just don't go all the way through. Just pick up these front loops. It's a little difficult from this angle, but I think you're going to like it. So what I want you to do is go into your first front loop. You're going to do a single crochet, chain 1, and then go back in that same front loop and do a single crochet. And do it for every stitch. Single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. Every single front loop. Single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. Try not to pull tight. I am on my very last stitch for my frillies. So I am going to chain 1. I'm going to turn my work. And all of these back loops that we just left exposed by only using the front loops, this is what we're going to work into in this next row. So it'd be easier if you just folded back your little frillies. We're going to do 4 single crochets and an increase. So sometimes it might be hard to get in there. That's 1, 2, this is my 4th single crochet, and then the next back loop gets your increase of 2 single crochets in the same space. This will bring you up to 42 stitches. I'm on my last loop for my increase, and that's my 42nd stitch. Chain 1, turn your work. So again, we bypass all these frills and we're going to work into the stitches that we just made. For the next 5 rows, I just want you to put 1 single crochet in each of these 42 stitches. So this is what you should have. This is what it should look like. So we're done, other than the little frills that I put around the top of the bonnet. So I did exactly what I did here, but I skipped a stitch. But if you want the top of your bonnet to look like this, then just don't skip a stitch. But it's the exact same thing. You're going to go into your stitch, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet. But because I wanted it very slight little frill, if you can see that, this is not skipping a stitch, and this is skipping a stitch. So it's completely up to you what you want, but I'm going to skip a stitch, go into my next stitch, single crochet, chain 1, single crochet, all in the same space. Skip 1, so we are done. So in your last stitch, that's where you can go in, slip stitch, and fasten off. And that is the frill that mine was around my bonnet. So I'm just going to weave this in, and then we're going to take an extra. This is all I have left of the little scrap ball I had, so quite close. Quite close to running out. So I'm just going to pop around down here at the back and do my weaving. And then what I have left, hopefully it's enough. Use this as my tie. So when I do my tie, I'm going to come along through here and I'm going to weave in and out until I get to my frillies. So don't pull this all the way through because you need to tie with it. And then right at my frillies, these holes, I'm just going to go in and out. So when I get to this end, I'm going to weave in and out down to here. And then that's going to be my tie. So you can pull this to make it even. I've got a super long tie, but so I can cut my tie off a little bit. Put your little bonnet on her head. Just like that. Oh, I still got my stitch marker in here. Take the stitch marker off. Just like that on her head. And then these guys get tied. It's hard to do on camera. It's hard to do. So you got to pull this really tight. And then you can kind of pull it forward a little bit. So that just makes it frilly as well on her head when you pull really tight. And then of course I just did a bow. I don't think I'm going to want to take it back off, but you know, you never mind. You never know. I might change my mind, and so I'm just trying to make my bows a little bit smaller without undoing it. Not that you can see what I'm doing. Just make my bows a little smaller. I'm going to leave a bit of a longer thing at the bottom here because it is Mother Goose. There we go. Her little bonnet is all done. So let's do the wings first, and then we'll do the shawl. It just makes more sense to get the wings sewn on first, then make the shawl. So grab your white, and we're going to start with a magic ring of 6 single crochets. Your next round is going to be 2 single crochets in each stitch all the way around. So after your first stitch, that's where your marker goes. Stitch number 2 can go in that same space. 2 single crochets in each space all the way around will give you 12 stitches. Your next round is going to be 1 single crochet in each stitch. Your next round is going to be 1 single crochet in an increase. This will bring it up to 18 stitches. Our next couple of rounds, your first one is going to be 2 single crochets and an increase, and that'll bring you up to 24 stitches. And then you're just going to do a round of 1 single crochet in each of those stitches. So that's number 1, that's number 2, then your increase of 2 single crochets in the same space. Your next 2 rounds are going to be 3 single crochets and an increase, and then 1 single crochet in each stitch. So we're going to start decreasing, but we're going to start decreasing just on one side only so that we make our wing look like this. So we're going to be decreasing all along this one side, but not this other side. So starting round 9, we're going to start with 20 single crochets, and then we'll get into our decrease. That's my 20 single crochets. And now I want you to do 3 single crochet decrease 2 times. And this will give you 28 stitches. That's my 3 single crochets, and then my decrease is going to be invisible, so done in the front loops only. And one more time, 3 single crochet on a decrease. So your next round is going to start with the same thing, 20 single crochets. That's my 20 single crochets. And this time around we're going to do 2 single crochet decrease 2 times. And this will bring you up to, or down to, 26 stitches. So that's number 1, that's number 2, and then your decrease. Whichever decrease you choose to do. Round 11 is going to start with 20 single crochets. That's my 20 single crochets. And now this decrease is just going to be 1 single crochet decrease 2 times. This will bring you down to 24 stitches. So it's my 1 single crochet, and then my decrease. One more time. Round 12 is just going to be start with 21 single crochets. So that's my 21 stitches. You should only have 3 stitches left. So what we're going to do is SC3 tog. This will bring you down to 22 stitches. So an SC3 tog is you go into your first stitch and you pull up a loop. Go into your next stitch, pull up a loop. Go into the third stitch and pull up a loop. You should have 4 loops on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 4. So SC3 tog stands for single crochet 3 together. And do you see what it's doing? It's coming in like that. So round 13 is just going to be 1 single crochet in each of these 22 stitches. We don't stuff this wing, by the way. So we're going to keep decreasing. We're just going to decrease differently now. So your first stitch is going to be SC2 tog. So single crochet these first 2 together. And put your marker in there. Now we're going to do 18 single crochets. That's my 18 stitches. I've got 2 stitches left, and I'm going to SC2 tog. Next round, same thing. Start off with SC2 tog. So you can do any one you want. I'll do invisible again. My last row was not invisible. I don't want big gaping holes. I'm not stuffing it, so it's no grand big deal, but so now we're going to do 16 single crochets. So basically to get all the way around, you got 2 stitches left and you're going to decrease those. That's 16 single crochets. I've got 2 stitches left. I'm going to SC2 tog those. So decrease those 2. Your next round starts off the same way with a decrease. Put your marker on that. And now we're going to do 14 single crochets around and then decrease the last 2. That's my 14 single crochets, and now I'm going to decrease the last 2 stitches. Next round, same deal. Decrease these first 2. You're going to do 12 single crochets around to the other side and decrease the last 2. Right now you should have 14 stitches. Round 18, you're gonna SC2 tug. So decrease the first 2. You're going to do 10 single crochets around and then decrease the last 2. Your last round, you're going to decrease the first 2. You're going to do 8 single crochets around and decrease the last 2. That's my 8 single crochets. I'm going to decrease the last 2. You should have 10 stitches. We're going to fasten off, and we're going to cinch the rest of this closed. So you need a sewing tail. So that's the shape you should have. I'm going to put the pattern up as soon as I'm done cinching this with you, and then I'll meet you back to do the shawl. So front loops only, go in the front loop, out the next front loop. We're not stuffing this at all. Unless you want to, it's completely up to you, I suppose. But I think they would stick out too much. So now that you have your second wing done, we can just kind of get them sewn on and all that nice stuff. So you can sew them on any way you want to. My last guy, that's where I fastened off. So that's how I sewed them on, with the decreases on the bottom. Just like this. Just like that. But it's completely up to you. However, the first thing I need to do is move my sewing tail up here, because I only sewed on the tip of the wing. I didn't sew the whole wing on. So I just need to move my yarn all the way up to the top. Just don't pull too hard when you're sewing, because that will pull. You don't want to do that. You can do however you want. So there we go. It's kind of hard to show you, but my wings still move around. Anyway, let's get this shell done, and then that'll be it for this. I keep saying guy. It's Mother Goose. So I'm going to do my shell in this coral, and then my baubles, I think, in this amethyst or whatever it's called. I know we already talked about it, but just confirming. So the bauble stitch is pretty easy peasy. It's also known as the pop stitch. So if you're not familiar, it's fine. I will walk you through it when we get there. It's no big deal. It's super duper easy. So try not to be intimidated by it. We're going to start off with the chain 32. So that's my chain 32. We're going to do 30 half doubles all the way back up, which means you're going to skip a stitch. I'm going to chain one. I'm going to turn my work. I'm going to do 1 half double in each stitch. For round number 2. And then we'll incorporate the bubble in the next round. And don't forget the last turning over stitch, this one that likes to turn over and everybody misses. Don't forget that guy. So chain 1 and, chain 2, turn your work. I said chain 1 last time too, didn't I? I meant chain 2. We're going to chain 2 throughout this project. So this is what you should have at this point. So now we're going to incorporate the bauble. So get your secondary color going here. Get ready to add that. We're going to start with 4 half doubles. So on your 4th half double, you're going to change color. So this is my 4th half double. I'm going to go in, I'm going to pull up a loop But I'm going to finish the stitch with my bauble color. So my next stitch is going to get the bauble. So the bauble is, to start, is going to be 5 double crochets in this next stitch, all of it. So I'm just weaving in my colors here at the back. So 5 double crochets. That is my 5 double crochets. So now I just kind of want you to pull up this loop a little bit, take your hook out. So we're going to go back to the first stitch that we made, and we're going to go in that stitch, and then we're going to put this loop on the front of my hook. Then I'm going to yarn over, and I'm going to pull through both pieces, and then chain 1 to secure the stitch. So that's a pop stitch or a bubble stitch. That's it. Now to change back colors, I normally chain 1 with my, so that chain 1, you can do whatever you want, but my chain 1 is usually with the next color I'm going to, which is the pink, and I'm going to weave in at the back here. So your next stitch is right there, and it's easily missed, but your next stitch is right there. So you just kind of got to move this aside. And now you're going to do 10 half doubles. So weave your purple at the back. It doesn't matter if it shows through, because it kind of gives it character. So this is my 10th stitch, and I'm going to finish that with my purple. I'm going to weave my pink in at the back now when I make my bauble. So we're going to do another bauble, so 5 double crochets all into the next stitch. So pull your hook out, go into the first stitch you made, put that loop on, yarn over, pull through, and then my chain 1 is going to be with my next color, and I'm going to pull down on all of that. So again, there's your next stitch. And you're going to do 14 half double crochets to the end. And I know this is like not right because we're off center, but don't worry, we're going to kind of stagger our baubles. I'm on my 9th stitch. I'm just going to drop my purple because when I come back on the next round, I'm going to pick it up right about there. And I'm going to finish just with my pink, no more weaving in. I had 15 stitches for whatever reason. Chain 2, turn your work. But that's okay. That does not bother me one tiny little bit. So I'm just going to pull my straggler tight back here. So we're on round 4. We're going to start this round with 4 half doubles. For me it's going to be 5 because I apparently have an extra stitch. So if you're like me and you had 15 half doubles, then you're gonna have to do 5. Oops, sorry. On my 5th one, I'm gonna change to my purple. I'm gonna weave in my pink. So my next stitch is gonna be a bubble. And it's right in here. It's kind of hidden right now. So you gotta kind of squiggle in there and do your 5 double crochets. So pull your hook out, go into the first stitch you made, put your loopy loop on. So now this one's a little bit different. Oh, sorry. So after you pull your hook out, this one's a little bit different because now we're at the back of the work. So you have to come in to your last stitch from behind and put that loop on. Then you can yarn over, pull through, and secure the stitch. Just make sure not to miss this next stitch. You're going to do 25 bobbles to the end. So no more bobbles on this row. But I'm going to, my next bobble is going to be 10 half doubles in, so somewhere around here, so somewhere around the middle of these bobbles, I'm going to drop my purple, and I'm not going to weave it in anymore, but I will weave it in up to that point. So when you get to your bobble, this is where your stitch is. Wait, let me get all my stuff out of the way. This is where your stitch is. It's super hard to see, but it's easier to feel. It's way easier to feel. But anyway, make sure only one goes behind the bobble. Wherever you stick your hook, just make sure one goes behind that bobble. Chain 2, turn your work. So we got some bobbles starting. Rounds 5 and round 6 are going to be exactly the same. We're going to start with 10 bobbles, 10 half doubles. So this is my 10th stitch, so I'm gonna finish it with my purple. I'm gonna weave in at the back, and I'm gonna do my first bobble. So 5 double crochets in the same space. Go into the first stitch you made, put your loop on your front of your hook, yarn over, pull through, finish your stitch, pull down on your purple. I'm going to weave my purple in, and now I want you to do 19 half doubles. I'm gonna decrease these last two because I was gonna have 20 half doubles because I got that extra stitch somehow, so I'm just gonna decrease here. Chain one, turn your work. So now I've got the same numbers I'm supposed to have. I'm gonna cut this little straggler off. So we get to do our backwards bobble again because we're doing the exact same row. Now we're on round 6, so it's the exact same thing. You're gonna start with 10 half doubles. This is my 10th one. I'm going to go to my purple. I'm going to put 5 double crochets into this next stitch. That's my 5th one. So because we're backwards, like I was showing last time, but I don't know if I was on camera, you gotta come into this last stitch from the other direction, so from behind. Then put your loop on this way, yarn over, pull through, and then finish the stitch with your pink. Just so all your bubbles are facing the same direction. And then you're going to do 19 half doubles to the end. So we're going to do something a little bit different. We need to start to decrease now. I know I kind of already did over here because I had that extra stitch, but so you can squish your bobbles down now. Look just like that. I love it. Alright. So we're going to decrease these first 2 stitches. So you're going to go in and pull up a loop. You're going to pull through 2, yarn over, go into the second, pull up a loop, pull through 2, and then pull through 3 for your decrease. And then we're going to do 3 half doubles and then change colors. So that is my 3rd. Getting stuck on my bubbles. That is my 3rd half double. So I'm going to pull my purple over. I stopped too soon, but whatever, doesn't matter. And we're going to do another bobble. So 5 double crochets in the same space. Then you're going to do 7 half doubles. This is my 7th half double. I'm going to finish it with purple. And I'm going to do another bobble. Then I want you to do 8 half doubles with your pink, or whatever color you're using. This is going to be my 8th half double. I'm going to go to my purple and I'm going to do another bubble. And now I want you to do 5 half doubles with your pink. So these last 2 stitches, get half double crochet 2 tog, half double 2 tog. That's how it's written, HD 2 tog. You're gonna yarn over, go into the first stitch, pull up a loop, pull through 2, yarn over, go into your next stitch, pull through 2, pull through 3, chain 2 and turn your work. Round 8, you're just gonna, with your pink, you're gonna do 1 half double crochet in each stitch. That's it, no bobbles on this round. I'm going to carry my purple because I will need the bobble on the other side. So you should have 28 stitches across. So this next round we're only doing 1 bobble. But first we're going to decrease, half double decrease. And then we're going to do 7 half doubles. And then we're going to change colors. This is my 7th half double. Go to my bobble color and make a bobble. And then 16 half doubles, and then another decrease. So you got 2 stitches left. You have to turn it sideways to kind of see the 2 stitches. They're hard to see. It looks like you only have 1 left, but you don't. You got this turning over stitch. So I'll do another half double decrease. Chain 2, turn your work. You should have 26 stitches. So we're going to decrease starting right off the hop, and we're going to do 7 half doubles. This is my 7th half double. So I'm going to change to my bubble color. And I'm going to do a backwards bubble. So pull out your loop, come in from behind, put your loop on, yarn over, pull through, finish your stitch with your new color. And then now 14 half doubles before your next decrease. That's my 14 half doubles and then my decrease. Chain 2, turn your work. Coming to the end. So HD 3 tog. You're going to yarn over, go into your first stitch, pull up a loop, pull through 2. Yarn over, go through the next stitch, pull up a loop, pull through 2. Yarn over, go into the third stitch, pull through 2, and now yarn over and pull through all 4 loops. That's an HD 3 tog. And now you're going to do half double crochet, or 8 half double crochet in each stitch. So 18 half double crochets and then HD 3 tog again. So no bobbles in this round either. So 1 half double in each stitch till you have 3 stitches left. That's my 18 half doubles. I have 3 stitches left, 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pull up a loop and pull through 2. Yarn over, pull up a loop in the second stitch, pull through 2. Yarn over, pull up a loop in the third stitch, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through all 4. Chain 2, turn your work. So we're going to start making the neck hole in this next round. So for the next 2 rounds, it's gonna be the same thing. I want you to do 5 half doubles. Chain 2. Sorry. Why do I have to keep changing 1? Chain 2, turn your work. You can do whatever you want though. So I'm going to cut my purple off with a tail so I can weave it in. Because now I'm going to move my bobble up to here. And I want you to do 2 half doubles on the second half double. I'm going to change color to my bobble color. And then in this next stitch, I'm going to do a bobble. So I'm at the back of my work, so it's a backwards bobble. So come in from behind into this first stitch you made, yarn over, complete the bobble with your next color, and then 2 half doubles to finish these last 2 stitches. Just kind of weaving in my purple. Chain 2, turn your work. So this little straggler I can cut off. I don't really think anything's going to happen to him. And then for the next 2 rows, just 5 half doubles. So you can fasten off this side. Before we reattach, let's sew in our little straggler here. Now no one's really going to see this stuff at the back. So members that have my PDF, you'll see that it says fasten off and reattach on the other side and repeat rounds 12 to 16. So go back up to round 12. 12 and 13 are 1 half double in each of the 5 stitches. So we're going to make a slip knot. And we're going to reattach on this side. With just a single crochet is fine. We're going to put a half double in that same space, but we're going to do 5 half doubles. That's 5 half doubles. I'm going to chain 2, turn, and do 5 half doubles. Chain 2, turn your work. So, round 14, we're going to include our purple. We're going to do a bobble, just like we did on this other side. This one's going to be front ways though. So, we're going to do 2 half doubles. On my second half double, that's when I change color. And then my next stitch gets the bobble. And then 2 half doubles to finish the row. Chain 2, turn your work, and then 2 more rounds of 1 half double with your pink in each of these 5 stitches. Oh, purple everywhere. Cut the purple off. That out of there. One more row. Don't fasten off, we're not done. That's my 5 half doubles. So, I have to the twist. So, we are going to do 1 single crochet around the entire project. Yes, a single crochet. And then we're going to come back and we're going to put some little frillies on there. So you don't need to put 2 in each corner unless you want to keep it this shape. When I put the frills on, it's going to do this anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So you don't need to chain 1 here or anything else. This straggler we can get tucked in when we do our 1 single crochet. So just wherever you can get your hook in, just try to keep them pretty close together. 1 single crochet all the way around your project. So I'm all the way back around with my 1 single crochet in each stitch. I didn't count this one because the counts really don't matter, but my first one I got 127 single crochets, but it all just depends on where you stuck your hook. So it's not, I know you guys like your counts, but it really doesn't matter what your counts are. So for the next 33 stitches, you're just going to put 1. So I put the pause screen up that said 1 single crochet in each of the 33 stitches. And I realized I got cut off. My battery died, and I didn't know my battery died. So I've done my 33 stitches. That brings you over to here. So when you do your frills, you're going to do it from here to here. I don't want frills up here because we're going to put ties in here, and the frills would just make it lay weird, and it would just be too awkward. So from here to here, you're going to put your little frills on. And those are super duper easy. In each stitch, you're going to do 1 single crochet, chain 1, 1 single crochet in every stitch around. So I'm not going to marker here where I started my first stitch. I'm going to marker, looks like it's the 2nd row up. I'm going to put a marker here so I know to stop on this last stitch and not go any further than that for my frills. So does that make sense? Looks like it's the 2nd row up, the same row we do our bobble in, so I want to stop around the same area. So every single stitch is going to get 1 single crochet, chain 1, 1 single crochet. So it will get all out of hand and get all curly and wavy, and that's exactly what we want. So that is it. I am all the way around with my wavy and I've gone right up to my marker. So I'm just going to go into that space and fasten off. Just need a weaving tail. So this goes like this. Perfect, perfect. So you can still see a little bit of feather and a little bit of... So all I did for the tie, it's gonna be hard to show you, is I just cut a piece. You can always cut it shorter after. See if I can show you what I did. So it almost did like, you know, shoelaces. Let's start at the top. So find your two matching top stitches. Yeah, it's gonna be hard to show you. And pull. You're gonna need some for both sides. So skip a stitch and go into the next stitch down here and pull that across. Skip that stitch, I think. I don't know. See, I gotta do it. I gotta switch because I don't know what I'm doing. I can't do it that way. But you know what I mean, like shoelaces. And then this guy comes over here across this way and goes into this stitch. Oh, it's so hard to show you. He's trying to move around a lot. And then I come down here and go into this stitch right next door to that guy. And of course I gotta skip one and then go into this stitch. And then with this guy, from where I am here, I gotta cross and go into, so now I'm going up into this skipped stitch. So everything crosses like shoelaces. And then I come down here and go right next door to that last stitch. Now you can pull these if you want, but I kind of left them a little bit loose so that you could see what I was doing. But it's completely up to you what you want to do in this instance. And then I tied my bow. Made sure my loops were fairly short, but hangy, do you know what I mean? So enough to kind of hang down. And then of course these two ties, I didn't cut off. I wanted them actually quite long to just kind of hang like that. And that is it. Oh, I think I might have pulled too tight. You get the idea of what I'm trying to do here, right? It works better when I'm not on camera and I'm not trying to hold everything at an angle it's not supposed to be at, but you get the idea, I think. Shoelaces. Anyway, that's our guy. Or that's our gal. I keep saying that. That's our gal. Our little, I'll pull my bonnet back up. There's Mother Goose. Thanks for joining me, guys. I will see you in the next video.